from Germany, we have Martin Rotweiler, that many of you know from our broadcast in Trondheim last year. Martin, glad you could join us. You're still in where the conference has been. What many of our audience ask us is, first of all, what are the German bishops doing? It's not the synodal path; it's the synodal way. Can you?
Yeah, I think it's a question of terminology. You can say synodal path. Some people say synodal path, but it's a synodal way, the so-called synodal way that's taking place here. And this is an assembly that consists of all the bishops, all the German bishops, that including the auxiliary bishops, as well as a delegation of the so-called Central Committee of the Catholics, of the lay people, representatives, and then others, like more than 200 people gathering and have gathered for the fifth time and have been gathering up to just a few moments ago here in Frankfurt again.
And what we can read in the newspaper in Norway and on other Catholic sites is that they have decided to, first of all, bless gay marriage.
Exactly, they voted for the blessing of gay marriage. So-called, they don't call it marriages, but they say, connections or link between. But it's kind of gay marriages. It's kind of, but they say it's not. It's different from the sacramental marriage. But we want to at least make sure that we allow the blessing of same-sex couples, and also the blessing of remarriage, divorced couples. So, and they want to implement it immediately. That's what the German bishop said, at least what the majority of the German bishops said. I think there is a majority that might oppose to it and not follow this decision and this vote that has been here. Has been here in Frankfurt. Sorry.
But Pope Francis was clear in a statement 2 years ago that you cannot bless sin.
They say, I think, if you don't bless them, you just do not appreciate, the good that is in their let's say, connection between between same-sex couples. So they say we want to evaluate something that's good in there. It's different because it's not creating something new like in a marriage, but we see this needs to be blessed. So they're not following the instructions, if you want so, or not following what Ladaria, the head of the dicastery of the doctrine of faith, wrote to the German bishops, answering a question. So they won't follow that, and they will go their own way in this direction. And this is naturally may cause especially problems, I think, for priests within dioceses, where the bishop is going to allow the blessing of same-sex couples.
We read in the National Register today that there also was a bishop from Flandern who said that when they had their ad limina, Pope Francis did not go against blessing of same-sex marriage. You have any comment on that? Is this?
Yeah, according to Bishop Boni, who gave his statement here, he said that Pope would have said, and during an encounter, a meeting with him, would have told the bishops from Belgium, okay, please, that's up to you what you do, but please do it in a united forum. You do it unanimously. That's what at least was presented here. And may have also had an influence on the voting of the bishops here. But here in Germany, you don't have this unanimous vote in favor of the blessing of same-sex marriages. There are still bishops who are clearly opposed to that. So we will see what's going on, and we will see how Rome will react. The question was posed to Bishop Betzing, the president of the German Bishops' Conference here. And he said, we are in a discussion with Rome, and yes, it's good, but if we don't find the unity among the bishops, we have to go on anyway. So it's kind of really going on no matter what Rome says.
My final question to you, Martin, before I let you go, is the majority of the Catholic in Germany, they agree with this?
It's really difficult to say. I think only a minority was really involved in the whole process, and it's not a process that was really justified democratically. So But I think there maybe even the majority of Catholics, also of Germans, who would agree on blessing same-sex couples. But I think there's also naturally at least a big minority, to say so, who sticks to the doctrine of the faith and is not following that direction. I think what is always confused is that people state that those who are not in favor of blessing same-sex couples would discriminate homosexuals, which is clearly not the case. And also the bishops who are against the blessing of same-sex couples explicitly said so, that everybody is loved by God and everybody has the same dignity. But this is the way kind of that needs to be made very clear, and very often is judged in a very negative way by those who are in favor of the blessing of same-sex couples.
As we speak now, I see also that they made an announcement regarding celibacy for priests. Do you have a comment on that?
Yes, exactly. The assembly voted, and also the majority of the priests voted that to ask the Holy Father and to ask Rome, so to speak, to open the possibility of priests that do not need to live celibacy as priests. So they want to open this way, and they are naturally hinting or referring to the Amazon Synod and other statements. So yeah, that's a clear vote. There was a clear vote of discussing the celibacy and proposing not to oblige priests to live a celibate life.
Yes, and after what I understand, also Pope Francis' comment on this in his 10 years anniversary interview that will be public tomorrow. So that will be exciting to see what the Pope is saying.
Yes, we are looking forward. I think there are a lot of changes, and I think what is important to see is also that the presidents of the Synodal path stated, and everybody stated that we are just at the beginning, and the late Irmestetter Karp, who is the chairwoman of the Central Committee of the Catholic Lay People, said, we have not even started with the reform of the Catholic churches. There needs to be structural reform. So we are just at the beginning. So it's not the end of the synodal path. And the decisions that have been taken here are really just the beginning, I think, of a kind of, if you want, so reconstruction of the church in order to fulfill the so-called needs of the time.
There will be a lot to come, I'm afraid. We will pray for you. We really have a good relationship with the Catholics in Germany, through Bonifatiuswerk and other structure. They are helping us a lot. And thank you, Martin, and God bless.
Thank you, Paul.